of the audience and how much it will appeal to a reader, you go nuts fairly quickly. But on the other hand, I think where Mark and I differ a little bit is I think in a weird way the condition sort of commercially for fiction bears a little bit on the aesthetics of writing right now, because at least the generation that I think of myself as part of was raised on television, which means that at least I was raised to view television as more or less my main kind of artistic snorkel to the universe. And I think television, which is a commercial art that's a lot of fun, that requires very little of the recipient of the art, I think affects what people are looking for in various kinds of art, and I think can make the sort of fiction which, if I can lump a bit, I think all three of us do stuff that's at least harder than average, weird, requires some work to read. What's interesting to me is the very phenomenon that perhaps demographically cuts into our audience is a big part of sort of what's going on in the country that I think fiction writers are trying to capture in some way.
Okay, what's that?
Oh boy. I hope this is a 4-hour segment. That's part of what makes art magical for me, but there's another part. There's the part, and see, I'm afraid I'm going to sound like a Puritan or a prig, but there's this part that's with my little weird looking hat on. There's this part that makes you feel full. There's this part that is redemptive and instructive, where when you read something, it's not just delight. You go, my God, that's me. You know, I've lived like that, I've felt like that, I'm not alone in the world. I mean, you can get very kind of abstract in the way you talk about it. What's tricky for me is, see, it would be one thing if everybody was absolutely delighted watching TV 24/7, but we have as a culture not only an enormous daily watching rate, but we have a tremendous cultural contempt for TV. I mean, from Newton Meinau's The Vast Wasteland has become kind of culture-wide, such that now TV that makes fun of TV is itself popular TV. There's this way in which we who are watching a whole lot are also aware that we're missing something, that there's something else, there's something more, while at the same time, because television is really darn easy, you sit there, you don't have to do very much, and in many ways...
Not easy to do, though. Especially you about that, it is that, do you think that your books are known to be, this book is known to be complicated and long, compared even to the internet. Is it simply because that's the way you express what you have to say, or is it some sense of design there?
There's some sense of design. Part of it, I think, is, for me, it's weird. I feel like I'm kind of, if you put these two guys in a blender, I am these guys sitting right here. I mean, part of it, one of the things that I want is to do something that is, it's complicated and it's hard, and it's weird, but it's also seductive enough so that you're willing to do the work to go through that. And a lot of that has to do with trying, yes, to be delightful and to have it be delightful.
Put us in a blender. So I'm the one who's not delightful.
A very soft blender and not with sharp blades. I'm just. I guess. I mean, it's not any kind of tactic or whatever, but I think, at least for me, the way I am as a writer comes very much out of what I sort of want as a reader, and what sort of got me off, when I was reading. And a lot of it has to do with, good Lord, I'm really stretching myself. I'm really having to think and process and feel in ways I don't normally feel. And the book has motivated me to do that.